didn't have the silver, and I couldn't buy the silk. I couldn't pour the champagne or the honey and the milk. All I had was copper and a heavy, calloused hand, and a beautifully simple love I hoped you'd understand. I built a little kingdom in the center of the street, where the absolute devotion was the only thing you'd meet. But you were always looking at the mansions on the hill, waiting for a heavy, golden, empty space to fill. And you broke a poor girl's heart to buy a rich girl's dream, trading in the heavy ocean for a shallow, glowing stream. You wanted all the diamonds and you wanted all the gold, but you traded out a heavy love that never would grow old. I gave you every single ounce of everything I had, a violently devoted soul that wanted you so bad. But my pockets were too empty and my pedigree too torn, so you left a poor girl's heart completely weathered in the storm. I heard she wears the velvet and she buys the heavy wine. I heard she bought the pedigree that never could be mine. She can orchestrate a party in a beautifully lit hall, but she will never catch you when you take a heavy fall. I used to sew the pieces of your beautifully broken chest with a heavy cotton thread and a completely quiet rest. But a handmade kind of sanctuary wasn't quite enough when you wanted all the heavy, polished, manufactured stuff. You can fill a heavy vault with all the paper and the brass. You can build a heavy fortress out of absolute cut glass, but you cannot buy the devotion of a beautifully scarred soul. When the bank account is heavy, but the spirit isn't whole. And you broke a poor girl's heart to buy a rich girl's dream, trading in the heavy ocean for a shallow, glowing stream. You wanted all the diamonds and you wanted all the gold, but you traded out a heavy love that never would grow old. I gave you every single ounce of everything I had, a violently devoted soul that wanted you so bad. But my pockets were too empty and my pedigree too torn, so you left a poor girl's heart completely weathered in the storm. A poor girl's heart, nothing left to spend. The copper pennies drop, rolling on the hardwood floor. You bought your way out. Keep the change. Silence. heavy winter air is starting to arrive. I'm staring at the branches barely left alive. A localized disaster right outside the glass. Watching all the beautiful golden moments pass. There used to be 1,000 brilliant shades of pink, but we let the whole foundation violently just sink. I'm holding my heavy breath, looking up above, tracing the anatomy of a dying love. And I'm watching the last blossom falling down, a single heavy tear dropping in this ghost town. It held on through the thunder, it held on through the freeze, but now it's surrendering to the heavy evening breeze. The final piece of hope, gravity won't ignore, sinking into darkness just like the ones before. I'm completely paralyzed, I can't look away, saying the last goodbye to the heavy light of day. I remember how we used to lay beneath the shade, thinking that the color of the love would never fade. We built a sanctuary where the blossoms used to grow, believing that the current always would just slowly flow. But you reached out with a heavy hand and shook the heavy tree, telling me that you were finally ready to be free. You took the entire springtime, packed it in a box, leaving me with winter and heavy, heavy locks. You can try to take the petals back onto the cold black wood. You can try to manufacture a love we understood, but you cannot fight the physics of a calculated break. And the last blossom falling is the final breath I take. And I'm watching the last blossom falling down, a single heavy tear dropping in this ghost town. It held on through the thunder, it held on through the freeze, but now it's surrendering to the heavy evening breeze. The final piece of hope, gravity won't ignore, sinking into darkness just like the ones before. I'm completely paralyzed, I can't look away, saying the last goodbye to the heavy light of day. The last blossom falling hits the frozen ground. No more color left, just the empty branch. Turn the heat on high, drifting into dark silence. The heavy cardboard sits exactly where the movers left the stack. highly calculated fortress protecting me from looking back. The packing tape is completely sealed against the heavy dust, a beautifully devastating monument to our shattered trust. I'm sitting on the mattress right against the empty wall, staring at the architecture of our completely sudden fall. Every single memory is suffocating in the dark, a violently quiet ending to our heavy vital spark. And I'm living in the ruin of these heavy unpacked boxes, trapped inside a highly calculated maze of paradoxes. If I cut the heavy tape, I have to finally let you go. Believing them completely sealed is a terrifying blow. It's a beautifully stagnant, absolutely freezing space, holding on to the geography of your completely missing face. I'm completely paralyzed upon the heavy wooden floor, surrounded by the unpacked boxes of the love we had before. Inside the heavy cardboard is the history we made, a completely devastated, violently sharp cascade. The photographs, the coffee cups, the heavy winter coats, a highly curated collection of the heavy sunken boats. I try to find the heavy knife to cut the plastic seam, to finally unpack the ruin of the highly toxic dream. But my heavy hands begin to shake and violently withdraw, because unpacking is accepting the completely final flaw. You can try to change the heavy address, try to cross the state. You can try to use geography to violently shift the fate, but the baggage is completely yours to carry in the chest. And an unpacked box will never let a heavy spirit rest. And I'm living in the ruin of these heavy unpacked boxes, trapped inside a highly calculated maze of paradoxes. If I cut the heavy tape, I have to finally let you go. But leaving them completely sealed is a terrifying blow. Oh, it's a beautifully stagnant, absolutely freezing space, holding on to the geography of your completely missing face. I'm completely paralyzed upon the heavy wooden floor, surrounded by the unpacked boxes of the love we had before. Unpacked boxes, unpacked boxes. The heavy tape holds tight, the dust completely settles. I leave the knife on the floor, turn off the light. The heavy iron shovel hits the freezing solid ground. I'm making sure these pages never make another sound. I hold the heavy paper wrapped in faded cotton twine, a highly calculated ending to what used to be divine. The architecture of your promises is written in the ink, a beautifully devastating weight that makes my stomach sink. I dropped the heavy bundle down into the freezing earth to finally put a permanent dark value on its worth. And now I'm walking from the letters I buried in the dirt, a perfectly constructed grave to navigate the hurt. I let the heavy soil cover up the words you said, to try and kill the phantom that is living in my head. You wrote 1,000 syllables of beautifully crafted lies, and now they're decomposing right beneath the winter skies. I'm leaving all the history violently behind, hoping that the letters I buried will finally leave my mind. I remember how my heavy hands would trace across your name, believing in the warmth before the freezing weather came. I memorized the curvature of every single I love you, a highly toxic manuscript that tore my soul in two. But keeping them was keeping all the agony alive, a heavy silent poison making sure I can't survive. So I threw the heavy dirt right on the cursive and the crest, to put the final evidence of you and me to rest. You can try to fold the heavy paper, you can try to hide the ink, you can push it to the bottom and just watch the memory sink. But burying the evidence won't violently erase the past, when the heavy words you memorize are guaranteed to last. And now I'm walking from the letters I buried in the dirt, a perfectly constructed grave to navigate the hurt. Will finally leave my mind. Letters I bury underneath the cold ground. The heavy dirt falls, the ink completely fades. Walk away from the hole, don't look back. The midnight air is freezing on the empty avenue. I'm walking down the pavement that I used to walk with you. The ember bulb is buzzing, a violent electric hum, a highly calculated sound of what we have become. I step into the glowing ring of heavy yellow light and watch my solitary figure bleeding through the night. There used to be a pair of us projected on the street, a beautifully tangled mess of shadows at our feet. And now I'm drowning in the streetlight, shadows all alone, a completely devastating cinematic made of stone. My silhouette is stretching out 100 inches tall. stretching out my broken heart. I remember how the darkness used to feel so safe and warm, a heavy velvet blanket hiding us right from the storm. Our silhouettes would hold their hands even when we let go, a beautifully quiet secret that the concrete used to know. But now the light just acts as a completely brutal guide, illuminating every single place you used to hide. I try to walk a little faster, try to run away, but the heavy black projection is guaranteed to stay. You can try to close your eyes, you can try to look ahead, you can try to outrun all the heavy words we said, but you cannot escape the physics of a body in the glow, and a solitary shadow is the hardest thing to know. Now I'm drowning in the streetlight, shadows all alone, a completely devastating cinematic made of stone. My silhouette is stretching out 100 inches tall, a dark and heavy monument to how we took the fall. It bends across the concrete and it breaks against the curb, a highly localized disaster nothing can disturb. I'm walking through the glowing pools, completely torn apart, watching the streetlight shadows stretching out my broken heart. The streetlight shadows, walking all alone, past the final lamppost, step into the absolute black. The shadow completely disappears, swallowed by the dark silence. The heavy winter coat is wrapped tightly around my chest. I'm walking down the street where our love was put to rest. I reach my freezing hands into the heavy, dark divide, looking for a single piece of what I used to hide. But there is absolutely nothing in the fabric or the seam, a completely devastated, highly calculated dream. You took every ounce of silver, every heavy copper cent, and left me walking quietly, wondering where it went. And now I'm walking with these heavy, empty pockets in the cold. I traded my completely open heart for a counterfeit gold. You robbed the architecture of my beautifully built soul, and left me with a violently devastating, heavy toll. I gave you everything I had, I didn't save a single dime, financing the tragedy of art, completely wasted time. I'm how you asked me for a little piece of trust, a microscopic loan that you turned right into dust. I handed you the heavy keys, the combination to the safe, ignoring every warning and the heavy burning chafe. You packed up all the valuables and walked right out the door, leaving the completely silent, absolutely barren floor. Now I'm turning all the heavy cotton linings inside out, finding nothing but the lint of a terrifying doubt. You can try to beg for mercy, you can try to take a loan, you can try to borrow warmth when you are freezing to the bone, but emotional bankruptcy is a permanently heavy state when you spend your entire fortune on a highly toxic fate. And now I'm walking with these heavy, empty pockets in the cold. I traded my completely open heart for a counterfeit gold. You robbed the architecture of my beautifully built soul and left me with the violently devastating heavy toll. I gave you everything I had, I didn't save a single dime, financing the tragedy of our completely wasted time. I'm standing in the freezing wind, nowhere left to go, with empty pockets turning inside out in the heavy snow. Empty pockets, nothing left inside. Turn the heavy cotton out, let the cold wind blow. Completely bankrupt, zero balance. The midnight clock is striking and the house begins to chill. I'm lying on the mattress, completely paralyzed and still. The heavy wind is pushing right against the window pane, a highly calculated pressure on a devastated brain. Then I hear the familiar rhythm on the heavy hardwood floor, a sequence of vibrations stopping right outside my door. My completely shattered heart begins to violently ascend, believing for a second I am waiting for my friend. But it's just the phantom footsteps in the heavy, quiet hall, a beautifully devastating echo of the fall. The architecture of this house is playing with my mind, projecting the specific rhythm you completely left behind. I'm trapped inside the muscle memory of how you used to walk, waiting for the heavy handle, waiting for the talk. I'm holding in my heavy breath against the bedroom wall, listening to the empty phantom footsteps in the hall. I know the exact pressure of your heel upon the wood, the microscopic creak exactly where you always stood. It's a highly localized haunting built into the floorboards deep, a terrifying symphony that ruins all my sleep. I try to tell my heavy mind it's just the settling of the frame. is not a cruel game, but the timber holds the history of the love we used to share. And the ghost is walking heavily upon the empty stair. You can try to lay the heavy carpet, try to muffle out the sound. You can try to use the white noise just to block the solid ground. But an auditory phantom is a violently stubborn guest. When the rhythm of their walking was the rhythm in your chest. But it's just the phantom footsteps in the heavy, quiet hall. A beautifully devastating echo of the fall. The architecture of this house is playing with my mind, projecting the specific rhythm you completely left behind. I'm trapped inside the muscle memory of how you used to walk, waiting for the heavy handle, waiting for the talk. I'm holding in my heavy breath against the bedroom wall, listening to the empty phantom footsteps in the hall. Just the house settling down. The floorboards finally quiet. Nobody is on the other side of the door. Close your heavy eyes. Just an echo. The heavy frame is falling right against the hardwood floor. A highly calculated ending right behind the heavy door. The silences are ringing in the center of the room as I reach into the closet for the heavy wooden broom. I'm staring at the fragments of the promises we made, a beautifully terrifying, violently sharp cascade. You took a heavy hammer to the center of the trust and left me in the ruin of a catastrophic dust. And now I'm sweeping up the glass of a shattered heavy dream, a completely devastated, highly fragmented regime. Every little splinter holds a reflection of your face, a beautifully dangerous and violently cold embrace. I'm trying not to cut my heavy hands upon the past, but the edges of the memory are practically cast. I'm completely isolated in the middle of the mess, sweeping up the glass in an absolute distress. The moonlight hits the crystal, throwing prisms on the wall, a highly decorated lighting for the devastating fall. I find a tiny piece of when you said you'd never leave, a microscopic razor that is making me believe. I'm crawling on my heavy knees, inspecting every crack, terrified that if I miss a piece, the pain is coming back. It's a beautifully meticulous and agonizing chore to gather up the love that isn't breathing anymore. You And I'm sweeping up the glass of a shattered, heavy dream, a completely devastating, highly fragmented regime. Every little splinter holds a reflection of your face, a beautifully dangerous and violently cold embrace. I'm trying not to cut my heavy hands upon the past, but the edges of the memory are practically cast. I'm completely isolated in the middle of the mess, sweeping up the glass in an absolute distress. Sweeping up the glass, trying not to bleed. The dustpan is completely full. Throw the heavy shards away. The floor is finally bare. Watch your step. The calendar has turned to dust. The seasons bled away. I'm staring at the heavy words you finally chose to say. You typed a midnight paragraph to try and clear the air, but looking at the glowing screen, I realize I don't care. You think a simple sorry can rebuild the heavy glass, but the damage is a monument, and time refused to pass. I waited in the freezing cold for you to make it right, and now you bring a wilted flower to a lifeless night. And now I'm choking on these expired apologies, a devastating remedy that brings me to my knees. They sat upon the shelf too long, the medicine went bad. You cannot use a toxic word to buy back what we had. The architecture of the trust is buried in the past. You offered up a heavy cure, but I am healing fast. I'm staring at the bitter truth of the heavy tears I wept, and your expired apology is a promise never kept. I remember starving for the comfort of your voice, a terrifying silence when you made the heavy choice. I would have taken anything, a whisper or a crumb, but my completely shattered heart was frozen, beating numb. Now I have built a fortress out of everything you broke, and your sudden heavy guilt is just a suffocating smoke. You're trying to administer a cure I do not need, because I finally stitched the wound and stopped the heavy bleed. You can try to change the heavy date upon the rusted label. You can bring your empty guilt and set it on the table, but ideally confession is a violently empty shell, and an expired apology is its own specific hell. Word to buy back what we had. heavy message. The screen goes completely dark. Too little, too late, walking away. Heavy midnight strikes and I'm staring at the ceiling, trying to anesthetize this terrifying feeling. I reach my heavy hand across the freezing cotton sheets, where the architecture of your body used to meet. The fabric is completely cold, the temperature has dropped. A highly calculated dying where the heavy heartbeat stopped. I can see the indentation where your heavy head would rest. A violently quiet crater burning right inside my chest. And now I'm sleeping with the ghost in my empty, heavy bed. A perfectly constructed apparition in my head. The mattress holds the memory, a devastating cast, a highly localized disaster of the heavy, heavy past. I'm tangled in the blankets with a shadow I can't hold, watching the beautiful history entirely unfold. I try to close my heavy eyes to make the phantom leave, but the ghost in my bed is the only way I grieve. I still leave the heavy lamp upon your side, completely dim, watching the shadows of the room begin to slowly swim. I hear the hardwood floorboards creak right outside the door, a heavy phantom footstep of the love we had before. You packed up all your physical things and violently withdrew, but you left an invisible heavy duplicate of you. I'm lying completely paralyzed right on the dividing line, terrified of crossing into what is no longer mine. You can strip the heavy covers, you can try to wash the white, you can try to use electricity to violently break the night, but a ghost doesn't care about the heavy locks or doors when the spirit of the heartbreak is permanently yours. And now I'm sleeping with the ghost in my empty, heavy bed, a perfectly constructed apparition in my head. The mattress holds the memory, a devastating cast, a highly localized disaster of the heavy, heavy past. I'm tangled in the blankets with a shadow I can't hold, is hanging on the freezing bedroom chair. I walk across the hardwood just to breathe the midnight air. I press my heavy face against the fabric of the wool, expecting just the comfort of the gravity's deep pull. But suddenly the atmosphere completely shifts and breaks, a highly calculated scent of a devastating mistake. It isn't my vanilla, it isn't the heavy rain, it's a violently sweet aroma that is paralyzing my brain. And now I'm choking on the perfume on his heavy winter collar, a beautifully packaged poison bottle with someone else's dollar. It's lingering like a ghost inside the architecture of the weave, a terrifying evidence that's forcing me to leave. I gave you all my absolute devotion and my trust, but you traded in the heavy silver for a shallow toxic lust. I'm staring at the fabric as the room begins to spin, drowning in the heavy scent of where another girl has been. I hear the heavy water running completely in the hall. You're washing off the evidence behind the bathroom wall. You step into the bedroom and you try to kiss my cheek, but the chemistry is broken and my heavy knees are weak. You tell me that you worked a heavy double at the side, a perfectly constructed lie to navigate the night, but the color tells a history that you cannot erase, a beautifully devastating floral invading my safe space. You can try to wash the heavy cotton in the boiling heat, you can try to throw the jacket in the middle of the street, but an olfactory betrayal is a violently permanent stain. And you cannot scrub a heartbreak from the center of my brain. And now I'm choking on the perfume on his heavy winter collar, a beautifully packaged poison bottle with someone else's dollar. It's lingering like a ghost inside the architecture of the weave, a terrifying evidence that's forcing me to leave. I gave you all my absolute devotion and my trust, but you traded in the heavy silver for a shallow toxic lust. I'm staring at the fabric as the room begins to spin, drowning in the heavy scent of where another girl has been. Perfume on his collar, a stranger in my house. I drop the heavy jacket, it hits the freezing floor. I don't say a single word, walking out the door. Heavy door slammed shut, completely cutting out the street. I'm staring at the empty space upon the leather seat. The neon signs are blurring through the freezing rain-slicked glass, watching all the beautiful and shattered memories pass. We shared this exact journey just a couple hours ago. A beautifully constructed dream that suddenly just broke. Now the engine starts to rumble beneath the heavy floor, and I am being driven from the love we had before. And it's a devastating taxi ride, completely home alone. The longest stretch of midnight that my heart has ever known. The meter keeps on ticking like a countdown to the end. I'm sitting in the backseat, bleeding out my closest friend. The city is a blur of heavy yellow, red and blue. A highly calculated transit pulling me away from you. I'm staring out the window, completely chilled right to the bone. Surviving the disaster of the taxi ride home alone. The driver doesn't say a word, he just keeps his eyes ahead. He cannot see the ruin of the final words you said. He just navigates the traffic and the highly quiet dark, completely unaware that you destroyed my vital spark. I watch the ember street lights washing right across my face, highlighting the disaster in this highly silent space. I wanna tell him stop the car, I wanna turn around, but my architecture is collapsing safely to the ground. You can try to ask the driver just to take the longer route. You can try to use the distance just to figure it all out. But the wheels are rolling forward and the brakes will finally grind, and you have to face the empty room you're driving back to find. And it's a devastating taxi ride, completely home alone. The longest stretch of midnight that my heart has ever known. The meter keeps on ticking like a countdown to the end. I'm sitting in the backseat, bleeding out my closest friend. The city is a blur of heavy yellow, red and blue. A highly calculated transit pulling me away from you. I'm staring out the window, completely chilled right to the bone. Surviving the disaster of the taxi ride home alone. Taxi ride home alone. The meter finally stops. Put the paper money on the dash. Step out into the freezing night. Watch the red taillights fade away. Standing on the empty curb. The heavy ledger is completely open on the freezing desk. I'm staring at a beautifully calculated, dark grotesque. I emptied out my heavy pockets, gave you every single dime. A massive violent transaction of my energy and time. bought the architecture of a perfectly constructed life, and paid the highest premium just to watch the romance die. You took my absolute devotion, spent it in a single day, and left me with a heavy deficit I can't begin to pay. And now I'm paying the absolute cost of loving you, a completely devastating debt that is violently past due. I traded all my heavy gold for a shallow, empty space, and financed the destruction of my perfectly safe place. The interest is compounding in the center of my chest, a highly calculated ruin where I never get to rest. I'm staring at the zero on the bottom of the line, bankrupt from the heavy cost of pretending you were mine. I remember how the investment felt so incredibly secure, a highly concentrated promise that felt wonderfully pure. I handed you the heavy keys to everything inside my head, believing in the beautiful and heavy words you said. But you were just a mercenary working in the heavy dark, stealing all the oxygen and leaving not a single spark. Now my emotional economy has completely crashed and burned, a terrifying lesson that I finally had to learn. You can try to mint the heavy silver, you can try to print the gold, you can try to buy back all the heavy history we told, but you cannot get a refund on a completely shattered soul. When the cost of loving someone takes an absolute violent toll. And now I'm paying the absolute cost of loving you, a completely devastating debt that is violently past due. I traded all my heavy gold for a shallow, empty space, and financed the destruction of my perfectly safe place. The interest is compounding in the center of my chest, a highly calculated ruin where I never get to rest. I'm staring at the zero on the bottom of the line, bankrupt from the heavy cost of pretending you were mine. The cost of loving you, nothing left to give. Close the heavy book, the pockets are completely empty. The final payment clears. Turn off the light. I'm staring at the heavy photograph upon the wall, trying to recognize the person standing in the hall. Your eyes are exactly the same, completely heavy shade of brown, but the soul that used to live inside has burned right to the ground. You speak to me in syllables I cannot understand a highly calculated distance when you drop my heavy hand. I'm looking for the heartbeat that I memorized so well, but you replaced the architecture with a terrifying shell. And now I'm looking at the stranger I loved, a devastating disconnect from the heavens above. I gave my heavy devotion to a beautifully painted face, but the person underneath has completely left the space. It's a violently quiet tragedy to watch somebody fade and realize you were holding on to a heavy masquerade. I'm mourning for a ghost who is completely alive, trying to survive the stranger I loved. I remember how we used to share the heavy, freezing dark, trading every secret like a highly sacred spark. But now you sit right next to me upon the heavy couch, and your posture is a highly calculated defensive slouch. You used to be the only home my heavy heart could know, but now you are a territory covered in the snow. I'm trying to find the map that leads me back to you, but the geography has shifted to a devastating blue. You can try to use the heavy name I used to call you by. You can try to replicate the heavy teardrop in your eye, but the chemistry is altered and the history is dead when the stranger that I'm looking at is sleeping in my bed. And now I'm looking at the stranger I loved, a devastating disconnect from the heavens above. I gave my heavy devotion to a beautifully painted face, but the person underneath has completely left the space. It's a violently quiet tragedy to watch somebody fade and realize you were holding on to a heavy masquerade. I'm mourning for a ghost who is completely alive, trying to survive the stranger I love. The stranger I love. Who are you now? You walk right past me, our shoulders barely brush, completely unrecognizable. A ghost in my house. The heavy morning light is cutting through the freezing glass. I'm standing in the kitchen, watching all the seconds pass. I reach into the cupboard and I pull the second cup, a violently ingrained routine that I can't swallow up. The architecture of this house is built around your ghost, a highly localized haunting by the one I wanted most. I pour the boiling water, but the second cup stays cold. A beautifully devastating story getting old. And now I'm living with a memory that refuses to move out, a heavy, silent roommate I walk into the hallway and I swear I hear your tread, a heavy wooden echo of the final words you said. I smell the faint vanilla of the jacket that you wore, hanging like a heavy shadow right behind the door. You took your physical body and you drove it out of state, but left your heavy essence here to completely dominate. I'm navigating perfectly around an empty space, terrified of walking right into your missing face. You can pack the heavy boxes, you can scrub the hardwood floor, you can try to use the distance just to settle up the score, but a memory is a parasite that lives inside the bone, and it guarantees that you will never truly be alone. And now I'm living with a memory that refuses to move out, a heavy, silent roommate made entirely of doubt. It sits upon the sofa and it sleeps right in the bed, a perfectly constructed phantom living in my head. It doesn't pay the rent, but it completely takes the toll, a highly calculated draining of my heavy, tired soul. I try to change the locks, I try to throw away the key, but I am permanently trapped here, living with a memory. Living with a memory. The ghost is in the room. I pour the second coffee down the sink. The heavy water runs. Turn the kitchen light out. Just me and the ghost. The heavy curtains are completely pulled across the glass. I'm lying on the mattress watching all the midnight pass. The street lamp is projecting a highly calculated beam, cutting through the architecture of a devastated dream. I see the heavy outline of the chair right by the door, the sharp geometric angles stretching out across the floor. But my completely shattered mind is violently playing tricks, tracing out a silhouette the darkness cannot fix. And now I'm trapped with the shadows on the heavy bedroom wall, a beautifully devastating cinematic of the fall. I'm staring at the plaster where your profile used to rest, a highly localized disaster burning right inside my chest. The light is just a weapon and the darkness is a ghost. shadows used to merge into a single massive shape, a beautifully constructed and impossible escape. But you packed up your heavy bags and walked right out the frame, leaving me a solitary projection of my name. Now the light is hitting nothing but the dust inside the room, a terrifying portrait in a highly curated tomb. You can try to turn the heavy lamps completely blazing bright. You can try to use electricity to conquer out the night, but you cannot burn the memory of a silhouette away. When the shadows are the only thing that actually decided to stay. And now I'm trapped with the shadows on the heavy bedroom wall, a beautifully devastating cinematic of the fall. I'm staring at the plaster where your profile used to rest, a highly localized disaster burning right inside my chest. The light is just a weapon and the darkness is a ghost, reminding me exactly of the things I wanted most. I reach my heavy hand out just to touch the empty space. The shadows on the wall will never replicate your face. Shadows on the wall, just an empty room. The street lamp suddenly flickers, the heavy projection drops. Nothing but the absolute black. Close my eyes. I took my seat in the front row, eyes wide open, believing every syllable and promise you had spoken. I studied the anatomy of how you used to smile, thought I'd mastered the subject, if only for a while. I traced the outlines of a dream I thought was built to last, but the ink was made of water and it faded much too fast. Now the lights are coming up, the classroom's turning cold, and I'm left staring at a history that's already growing old. And it's the hardest lesson that I've ever had to take, learning how to watch a beautiful connection bend and break, learning how to breathe when all the oxygen is gone, learning that forever doesn't mean you won't be moving on. It's a highly calculated torture, a violent sort of school where I learned that giving everything just makes you look the fool. The final exam is seeing you with someone new and realizing the hardest lesson was just loving you. Watching hours fade to black, I'm tearing out the pages, trying to erase the memory of all our different stages. I studied hard to keep you here, to make the timing right, but you can't force a localized sunrise in the middle of the night. You always always were the teacher, I guess I was just the test. Beautifully flawed experiment you laid to rest. You passed with flying colors, walking out the door, leaving me to puzzle out what all the studying was for. You don't get a degree for a completely shattered chest. No textbook ever told me how to put a love to rest. Wisdom is a lonely house built right outside of town, and knowledge is just watching something precious burning down. And it's the hardest lesson that I've ever had to take, learning how to watch a beautiful connection bend and break, learning how to breathe when all the oxygen is gone, learning that forever doesn't mean you won't be moving on. It's a highly calculated torture, a violent sort of school where I learned that giving everything just makes you look the fool. The final exam is seeing you with someone new and realizing the hardest lesson was just loving you. The hardest lesson, school is out. Close the heavy book, turn the heavy key. There's nothing left to learn, let it be. Silence. I'm looking in the mirror underneath the bathroom light, checking my reflection to make sure the angle's light. There isn't any crimson and there isn't any blue. There's absolutely nothing that could point them back to you. I put the heavy makeup on and practice how to smile, preparing to deceive the room for just a little while. You never raised a heavy head, you never threw a stone, but you left me completely shattered in the heavy dark alone. And I'm walking around with bruises no one sees, a violently silent damage bringing me to my knees. It's hidden in the architecture right behind my chest, a highly calculated ruin where I never get to rest. The world thinks I am beautiful, the picture of control, but they cannot see the fractures in the center of my soul. I'm bleeding out in public, but the damage is too deep, carrying the heavy hidden bruises while I sleep. You knew exactly where to press to cause the maximum pain, a devastating psychological heavy freezing rain. You used your heavy silence like a weapon in the dark, leaving an invisible but permanent dark mark. I tried to explain the heavy ache, I tried to find the word, but pain that doesn't have a scar is rarely ever hurt. So I button up my collar and I walk out in the street, hiding the disaster of my ultimate defeat. You can buy a heavy bandage, you can stitch a broken skin, you can set a heavy bone and let the healing part begin. But you cannot wrap a spirit in a medical gauze, and you cannot stop a heartbreak when nobody sees the cause. And I'm walking around with bruises no one sees, a violently silent bruises while I sleep, bruises no one sees, right beneath the skin. Wash the makeup off, the mirror knows the truth. The heavy ache remains. Turn off the light. Silence. You put a heavy ring upon my tired, trembling hand. A brilliantly constructed, absolutely flawless plan. We shine so beautifully underneath the chandeliers, refracting all the light to hide the heavy, heavy tears. We looked exactly like a millionaire's forgotten dream, a highly calculated, beautifully polished scheme. But underneath the surface there was a terrifying crack, a structural disaster that we couldn't walk right back. And now we're nothing but diamonds and dust, a beautiful tragedy built out of rust. You gave me the glamour, you gave me the shine, but you couldn't survive in the heavy, dark mine. It takes 1,000,000 tons of pressure just to make the carbon clear. I'm sweeping up the pieces of the absolute heavy trust, left with nothing but the memory of diamonds and dust. I take a heavy broom right to the freezing hardwood floor, gathering the fragments of the love we had before. There is a tiny sparkle hiding in the heavy gray, a microscopic evidence of what you threw away. The world completely thought we were an unbreakable stone, but they didn't see me crying in the heavy dark alone. A flawless, perfect carrot with a beautifully cut face, shattered into powder in this terrifying space. You can buy a velvet box, you can lock the heavy safe, you can try to use the money just to cover up the chafe, but you cannot fuse the powder back into a heavy stone, and you cannot buy a heartbeat when you're sitting on a throne. Survive in the heavy, dark mine. It takes 1,000,000 tons of pressure just to make the carbon clear, but the exact same heavy gravity has finally crushed us here. I'm sweeping up the pieces of the absolute heavy trust, left with nothing but the memory of diamonds and gray takes over. A heavy breath, blow the ash away. Silence.